This video is basically just a writing exercise of me writing about 200 words for each of these reviews, and then when I actually read them on the script, I sometimes decide it sucks ass and kind of change it. But this is mainly a writing exercise transferred into a video format. So take with that what you will, watch the video, go, wow, those are video games. I've heard of one of them. Actually, in this one, maybe two of them. Ooh. Anyways, enjoy the video. Watch it with your ears and eyes. Maybe even your mouth. Peak. The urge to climb is something I feel is so human. And I say that as someone who does not do any climbing adjacent hobby. You're not gonna see me clobbering the walls. But it's so cool to climb something and be at a slightly higher elevation. It makes me feel like Monkey. This is why I enjoy games like White Knuckle or Peaks of Yore or Valley Peaks and Peak. But what makes this game better than the other three is that you get to play the video game with your besties. And my only real gripe about Peak is that I don't think Landfall cares about making games for the past over 10 years. I mean, with Totally Accurate Battle Simulator can be beaten with just spamming the simplest unit on every level, they don't really care about making good games. Content Warning is just a Gmod horror map with no Gmod PNG jump scare, so it's worse than a Gmod horror map. But then they somehow lucked out with Cluster Truck and Peak actually being good games. And that's because the team also includes Aggro Crab, who've basically only made good games, so it worked out, right? Going Under and Another Crab Treasure, bangers. So I guess mixing good devs with slop devs can create a good game for the besties. Limiting my word count this much kind of fucks me, so that's literally all you're getting out of me for the Peak review. I didn't even talk about Peak. Get owned. Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines. This game still remains one of my top RPGs of all time, and that's because I'm someone who generally doesn't like TTRPGs or RPGs because usually they're in a medieval fantasy setting, and medieval times are boring. I don't care enough about wizards and goblins to enjoy that setting. But buddy, put an RPG in an actually good setting. Give me some Fallout, give me some Cthulhu, give me some vampires, give me some cyberpunk. Now we are actually being entertained, and we don't have to wander the dirt roads. I feel like modern settings are just better. You know, vampires in the 1990s, I think, and cyberpunk is in 2077, obviously. Like, I want my setting to be a shithole, but in my reality. Like, I can comprehend 1990. I can't comprehend the 1600s. And I really like that this game does take place in, like, modern day. It's, you know, it's the 90s in LA. Everything's in reality, even with there being vampires and ghosts and whatnot. Ghouls! And it's able to keep the setting mainly based in reality due to the Masquerade existing, so people aren't supposed to know about the vampires in this reality. And the Masquerade, basic rule of Vampire World. Don't let anyone know vampires exist. Gameplay-wise, the Masquerade fucks with you due to not being able to just kill everyone in public, or else the vampires murder you for breaking the Masquerade 100 times. But if you are Nosferatu, you can kiss like 2 humans on the mouth per level transition and they won't care. It's the third one that they get mad about. And this game comes with different classes that can, you know, affect the dialogue and replayability. You know, you have Nosferatus, which are little gremlin freaks that can't be seen in public, and then you got the Malkavians, who can kind of see the future, but they kind of don't get it because they're stupid. They don't understand the future, but they see it. And another thing I really like is obviously you can get XP not doing combat. What? What? No fucking way, bro! YARG. Yet another rhythm game is the newer and better clone hero for our modern world. until they actually make a new Rock Band that isn't just in Fortnite. I'm going to be honest, I don't know the correct legal wording I'm supposed to use when it comes to a game like this. So, for all intents and purposes, every song on my computer was put there by God, not pirated, not pulled from a disc. It was just placed there by God, okay? So most of this review is mainly going to be talking about just Rock Band in general. I'm not going to go over any difference between YARG, Clone Hero, actual Rock Band games, the Fork Knife Rock Band. I don't give a shit. I'm talking about just this genre of game, basically. Now for me, the main instrument I use is the drums, only basic drums. You know, just the 4 drums, no cymbals. Foot pedal, obviously, you're cheating if you're not using foot pedal. Let's get fucking real here. The reason I use drums instead of the guitar is because it's more joyful to swing my arms around like a monkey and not like a feeble human that needs a guitar to play music. I hit big drum. And I have to say, the foot pedal is harder to learn than I thought it would be, especially with some songs where it's like you have to desync your hands and feet. It hurts my brain. I don't know. It hurts. Now, here's the big issue with playing something like YARG or Clone Hero, especially if you want to play with other people, so you have to have their songs in your computer also. YARG takes up 134 gigabytes on my computer. Now, this is mainly a pretty big issue because it's not like a normal video game where you can uninstall it and then reinstall it later. You're downloading, asking God for every single one of these songs. Unless it's just the mainline games, it's going to take actual effort for every single extra song you want to be downloaded that was, created by the community. You ask God to download it to your computer. So you can't just uninstall and reinstall it all later. That's on your computer. You're stuck with that on your computer. But I will say, if you have $1 bajillion to spend on plastic instruments, you should YARG one out, brother. The Upturned. This is the best game Zeekers will ever make. And I'm sorry, Zeekers, that you peaked before you could even legally vote. And that's okay. I really like how this game mixes the horror and its comedy oh so fucking much. The only way for me to actually play a horror game is for it to look like a good game that happens to be horror. Because horror is such an easy genre. They give new directors like $5 million and say make a horror movie because it's so easy for it to make money. But comedy is way more difficult, especially for video games. Think in your head how many comedy video games you've played and also enjoyed the comedy of. Very few! Because the average gamer hates comedy. They have no joy. They go, you were supposed to smoke a long, but you smoked CT. Grr. Anyways, the game's basic mechanic, other than walking, jumping, stopping turrets, is grabbing things and throwing them. So when you first walk up to a door and it gives you a button prompt to open it, John Dust rips the door off of its hinges. It's just so silly to have such a stupid way to open every door in the game. And in a later section of the game, they give you a metal detector as a puzzle element. But specifically, it only blocks items from going through it, except for dust. And luckily, you're made of dust. Or ash, I forgot. Ash, baby. But again, that's just so funny to me, having a metal detector stop me from carrying a wood chair through it. Whimsical as fuck. Dead Space. This game is still such a good horror game. Visceral Games fucking cooked with limb dismemberment being the intended way to play. It's annoying that their QA testers had such a hard time understanding it, so now we're all forced to hear like 4 times in a row the game telling you, hey, did you know you can shoot off their limbs? That's what you're supposed to do. That's how you kill them. And also the HUD elements being diegetic. Your health is stuck to your back. Your stasis meter is stuck to your back in a third-person video game. It's so fucking cool and awesome. And I say, yippee! And the game being in a sci-fi setting obviously makes it a lot easier to do that. You know, other games will be like, my hand is really red, that means I am hurt and I am dying. And at that point I feel like it's more immersive if you just had a health bar at that point. And even with Dead Space, having a screen float in front of your character is basically just what happens in a normal first-person game. So, not crazy. The sound design in this game is really good. The further you progress in the game, the more insane you go from the marker, and you hear these whispers in the background are getting louder and more common throughout the game. Super fucking cool. And also, small detail, but space, when being in space, it being basically completely silent. Love that basically any time in sci-fi when they actually let an explosion happen in space and nothing, there's no audio, you just see it because it's fucking space, bro. That sound ain't traveling to you. I will say the small thing at the end of this review, my PC did not like running this game. I had to do some bullshit. I think I had to make it run specifically in Vulkan for it to actually work on my computer. Really annoying. They were almost convincing me to buy the remake, but I held off. I'm a warrior. Minesweeper. I have played so much Minesweeper this past year. The strategy and logic in the game making me feel like a smart little guy. And most of that Minesweeper time has been specifically on minesweeperonline.com. Because it has leaderboard, so I can see, hey, what am I doing the most shit at compared to other people? Is it my speed, or is it my awesomeness? I don't know. The website itself does have a premium account option, but I didn't really see any difference when I got the premium account. I bought it lifetime for $30 because I have like 50 hours on the website. They deserve a little bit of money. All right, I'll give them $30 for lifetime premium, whatever premium means. But the website's great. It has guides in the website, so you can actually learn the different patterns and strategies. You don't need to like go on a great voyage. It's on the website. And it also has a no-guess game mode, so there's always a logical solution on the board. It's not just what's most likely not to make me explode. And it's got a fucking PvP mode, so you're both doing the same board. Whoever finishes it faster is awesome and epic. It's a good smart guy phone game, you know? Guy that plays Sudoku on his phone, now he play the Minesweeper. Because Minesweeper is awesome. Halo. Halo is a classic for a reason. I've been replaying it recently, and it still brings so much joy to my heart. Except for when I switch to the remastered graphics. Those are gross, and I'm going to try and avoid talking about how much I hate the fucking remaster graphics. Twice now, they did a second remaster after I already wrote this. And I'll be honest, the one thing I forgot about Halo was how fucking amazing the soundtrack is. Like, this game would be so enjoyable on like an easier difficulty with just the music on. Oh my god, that'd be transcendent. Another thing I really liked about the game was specifically how the energy weapons worked. I don't know why, it's just fun that you have to scavenge for a weapon because you need a weapon with more battery in it, instead of just I walk over corpse and pick up ammo. I don't know, it feels like I'm actively engaging with an ammo economy instead of just... And another thing too, man, it's just such a beautiful fucking game. You know, I can accept that Halo architecture is just giant concrete obelisk. You know, at least it's not the remaster with random tech and wires glued to the side for no fucking reason. Anyways, it's a great game, still holds up today, dialogue is cool, music is amazing, remastered graphics look horrible, play Halo, the real one. Cultic. I think boomer shooters have this huge issue where they decide the best way to hide secrets is in a random wall that you need to interact with. Cultic the first boomer shooter that does not require me to spam E running up against every single wall to find like half the fucking secrets in the level. Especially comparing to something like Blood, where I have to interact in a random room with a bunch of random bullshit that's textured on the wall. I have to click a handsaw and it will open a secret room. Why didn't I think of that? Oh! But what's beautiful is most secrets in Cultic, if not all, are clearly visible if you're looking for them. My question usually is, how do I get to the spot, and not where the fuck is the spot? It does give you an in-game way to help you find it. Your lighter will twist whenever you're near a secret, so that does help a little bit. And you will be returning to rubbing up against every wall until the secret reveals itself. But that's only sometimes, alright? I literally found, like, I would say 80% of the secrets first try without doing, like, lighter bullshit. Or, I mean, I looked up the walkthrough, alright? I'm not about to walk up against every wall, alright, pal? You better catch me dead doing that. And another thing that was great about the game I really liked was the gun animations. The pistol has 2 different reload animations based on if it's partially loaded or fully unloaded. It'll show you that there's still bullets in the clip magazine. Sorry, but I actually spent like a measurable amount of my playtime just watching the reload animations because I thought they were awesome and cool, and I look at them with my eyes and I go, wow, pixel art, whoa. I talk too much about secret rooms that I can't fit like any other opinions in this review. So secret rooms should not be impossible to find. Fuck you if I have to click E on every single wall. Cultic is awesome. I'm going to keep this outro pretty short. The Klingon audio track should exist when I upload the video, so you can hear my opinions, I guess, about making the video, because I'll be recording that after I've already edited it. You'll hear my opinions on how bad I read script and how I should be better at writing words. And you get to hear me go, see, I actually did a cool little editing technique here called adding a blur effect. So if you want to hear me talk about that for like 12 minutes, I don't know how long this is going to be. Klingon audio track, peak. Alright, take a look at that. Alright, thanks for watching. You can watch other videos on the YouTube channel, or you can go to Cal_Beck and watch more editing as in those videos, or you can subscribe and check out the Discord, or you can and then you can play the video game and say yay. Okay.